딩전휘vssel비 35.
A good little lead, but with the reds in the middle of the table, it won't be enough. Good shot. Excellent safety. Good length. Terrific line. There may be a path back to baulk for Mark, but he's got to catch this perfectly. Yeah, this could have gone wrong, but hit that red perfectly and found the gap between green and brown. It's not a bad reply, that, as it turns out. It's not going to be easy to get the cue ball back to baulk here. I think Ding's looking a little bit surprised the way that's turned out, because it's not the best length of cue ball, but it's just awkward. It's funny sometimes, that looked like a nothing shot, and then I'm now looking at what 딩전휘vsselbi's got facing him, and I think what's made this more difficult, the red he's played, if we watch that red, is it thin, and it's gone over to the right hand side of the table. Now if it hadn't have done that, it was an easy thin off the red above the pink, but now that red comes into play. He's having a go at one. Probably the best thing under the circumstances, with no obvious safety on. Beauty. Isn't it always the way? You know it's a shot to nothing, which is not so important if you get the pot. But of course if you miss the pot, the cue ball fires off at the wrong angle. Anyway, he might still take the brown to the middle despite being 40 in front. This lands him on a red. That's a kind of pot that could give him confidence, certainly on his long game. Well, he's looking good now for the frame. 44 in front with 3 or 4 reds in fairly potable positions.
Six. 12. Thank you. 30.
$58 points the lead. So this red in the colour.
19.
And he'll be guaranteed a lead at the end of this first session. Going to be at least 2 frames.
20.
59 points the lead. 59 remaining. So just needs to make certain this yellow. I don't expect him to miss this yellow, but I don't know why he's not on a colour a bit easier than this for frame ball. But as I say, he wouldn't miss this. Well, what? Might miss it 1 out of 1,000. So Mark Selby needs a snooker. There's 1 more frame after this to be played. Mark will want to win it to reduce his arrears to 2. Otherwise, Ding could have a
22.
4-frame lead after these first 8 frames. And I think you mentioned earlier on, Neil, he's not the type of player, 딩전휘, you want to give too much rope to, because he'll get strong, like all great players. They're very good in front.
He's always been a bit of a front runner. Most players are, to be honest. Also quite good left-handed, although that wasn't a difficult shot. But I mean,
29.
I know that he did come back quite strongly against Stuart Bingham, very strongly in fact, but most of his wins have been from the front.
$35. 36. 43. 44. 50. 52. 55.
Just steady scoring from 딩전휘 in this session, but it's proven effective enough to put Mark Selby under the cosh.
59.
His highest
64.
break prior to this has been a 65. That was in frame 4. So that's his highest break of the
70.
match so far. nice
7
finish.
in the frame.
And 딩전휘vs셀비 has got that comfort frame. He now leads by 5 frames to 2 with 1 frame to play in this session.
Well, the first thing to say is that the screen's gone up, and for the final frame of the day they'll have the whole of the crucible to themselves. Here's a look at the safety shot from Selby, which resulted in a loss of the frame. At the time, as John said, it looked like that was a pretty good shot, but as it happens, he just crunched in a long red. And I think these sort of shots give you a real buzz when you get them and never touch the sides. Interesting point, isn't it, that he's lost 5 frames here this afternoon, and up until that he'd only lost 5 frames in the entire championship. Bad day at the office, John.
Yes, and it could be worse. That's why this final frame of this session is very important. It can either be